Beautiful. We are good to finally move on. Also, we won a game in the preseason, so that's pretty cool. Let's move on. Let's do it. Our first season. Oh, the journey actually begins now. As weird of a run as this is going to be for us. Again, we already kind of saw what the overall rating is going to be. We do have a decent little coaching staff, but yeah. So the question for the prediction, we're going to put an over-under of 30 team fights. Technically, it's going to be at 29.5. That is the over-under on how many fights. The combined amount of fights. Will the players on our team reach a combined 30 fights this season? That is the prediction that's up in chat. Let's move forward to the first couple of months and see how the fish do. And so far, I mean, hey, we're good at getting to a shootout. But once we get there, good luck with us actually scoring. 0-4-4. And we get our first win against Vegas. There you go. We won 3 games in a row there. I just want to throw that out there. And we beat Vancouver, but who doesn't? Bruce there, it isn't. We beat Chicago, which makes a lot of sense. Trash bag organization. The Winnipeg Jets.
Oh,
God, we're actually winning more games than I thought. Shout out to the official Memphis Grizzlies. Go back to Vancouver. What's the matter with you? 7-14-5. Now, I know that's terrible, but it's better than it should be. Wayne Simmons, 18 points in 26 games. As our leading scorer. Let's go up to the new year really quickly. And, Grizz, what's going on? Let's go up to the new year and see if that record holds, then we'll take a look around the league, see what we're dealing with. See, I go back on franchise mode. You're too kind. It's good that franchise mode is not completely abhorrent. It's still not in the best shape possible, but it can at least move forward day to day. I am franchise mode. 10, 20, and 8. Wayne Simmons, still our leading scorer. I think he had 1 goal all month. The assist machine. AJ, 8 goals, 15 assists, only 8 penalty minutes. A reminder, and I do believe it's because EA has him set to, like, never fight, even though AJ does that a lot. He does that a lot. Let's see. I didn't want to go to NHL.com. That's where I ended up. Oh, come on. Well, AJ has 24 penalty minutes in 13 games this year. I think he has 3 fights on the year already, if not 4. So, it's a good time. Ryan Reeves, top center. 9 goals, 13 assists, 87 penalty minutes. 11 and 16 for Wayne with 22 PIMs. You got Giovanni Smith at 5, 11, and 12. Pizzetta at 4, 12, and 29. Crash Andrews, hello. Boko at 6, 7, and 17. Delorier, that's what I'm talking about. 8, 9, and 43. Ross Johnston at 2, 10, and 42. Jeff Viel really hasn't done much in terms of penalty minutes. Point-wise, not bad. Same for Ronaldo. Scott Sabrin only has 8 PIMs, and then Matthew Olivier hasn't done much. So yeah, Ryan Reeves is crushing it right now in terms of penalty minutes. Borowiecki with 26 PIMs. Roman hasn't done much. Wow. The God of War himself. Only 10 penalty minutes for Mason. 35 for Big Kurt. 30 for McElrath. And 11 for Luke Witkowski. Of course, both of our goalies have an above 900 save percentage because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? But right now, our only competition is the Vegas Golden Knights. in terms of the top odds in the draft lottery so far. So far, they were 1 point above us. We'll see what happens there. Again, we are going to want those number one odds just because if there is a DFD or a power forward available with that first pick, that is the type of game-changing player for us. 4 wins that month. 14, 29, and 10. Wayne Simmons still our leading scorer. Start with a fantasy draft. No, but an expansion draft. All right. 2 points behind Dallas. They have 3 games at hand, by the way. We're looking pretty good. Great pace to get top lottery odds. Again, we cannot partake in the trade deadline. We are not allowed to trade in this particular series. So there will be nothing there. There will be nothing there, nothing to do in that regard, but we will see if any big trades go through. List ourselves as buyers, because who cares? We will continue simming. Let's see what happens at the deadline. Do we get any noteworthy trade alerts? Nothing. At least no blockbusters. Hey, there we go. AJ Greer taking over as team leading scorer. Shattenkirk for Sam Poulin in a 6th. Bushkin's now a Devil. Bjugstad, 2/4 for a 2nd. God, EA, your trade value is terrible. Rasmus Ristolainen for Philip Grubauer. I could actually see that happening. I actually could. Both contracts look terrible. Although Ottawa trading Josh Norris to get Shane Goss to spare, that I don't see happening. At the Donoff for Matt Robertson in picks. Dark Void, 48 months. Look at you, 46 in a row, by the way. Terrible person. How are you? Let's see. Victor Arvidsson flipped to Dallas. Gavrikov to the Rangers. That's a deal that could happen, actually, if the Blue Jackets are still this bad. See how in real life. I have follow Walker in a 3rd for 2 seconds. Berggren for Pavelski. Max Domi for 2 seconds and Evangelista. Those are some trades. Let me tell you, Phil Kessel's now on Colorado. Those are some trades. Again, I, as always, will say that EA's rosters are pretty bad. Pretty damn bad. I was tempted to use custom ones, but I just wanted to use EA's as the kind of default option, the most recent roster update. I think the November 10th update. So we haven't looked at the draft class yet, and I gotta be honest, I don't think I will. I kind of want it to be a surprise once we are closer to the lottery itself. That is my my thought at the moment. 20, 42, and 15, with just a few games left to go this season. AJ is still crushing it. Hopefully he'll get a new contract in the offseason with the team, or we'll keep him. I'm not sure which. Right now, if we take a look, we are currently in dead last and have secured the number one odds. I was genuinely worried with the amount of 77s and 78s I could have played. This worked out pretty well for us, though. Pretty damn well. So let's sim these final few games. So I'm coming up against Arizona at McDonough Coliseum. Good. Keep losing games. Actually, you guys could win a couple at the end of the season. Can you beat Pittsburgh to cap it off? They didn't beat Pittsburgh. They didn't beat Pittsburgh at all. But that is our first season at the helm of the Goonfish done. 21 wins on the year. As we'll take a look at the entire league. I'll obviously show you guys the playoff bracket in a minute. But we finished in dead last by a good amount. Goals for, by far the fewest. Us and Buffalo, the only two teams to not score over 200 goals. Goals against, the most in the league. Fair enough. We had 93 power plays, which was easily the fewest. Time short-handed. I'm so proud of our boys. I'm so proud. That's awesome. Suck it, Lou Lamoriello. I can build a better Goon squad than you can. Also, 3 shorthanded goals. I'd hope so. With that many attempts. That is awesome. Injuries caused. Injuries are off, but I wish we had them on. For the team, if we look at the forwards, of course, AJ Greer leading the way. Simmons and Wright, all 3 members of the first line hit 52 points. Ryan Reeves hit 52 points. His career total is 166. That is outstanding. For the record, 52 is 31% of his career points were scored this season. Incredible. Giovanni Smith, I almost called him Jamel, at 37 points. Pizzetta, Delorier were up there. We'll talk about the penalty minutes in a minute, but Scott Sabrin was the only guy to not hit 21 points this year. In terms of the penalty minutes, Reeves and Delorier with the hard carry. We'll look at the fights in a moment. Defensively, Borokop, Polak up there. And Boro did his best in terms of the penalties taken as well. Goaltending-wise, of course, Subban and Oscar Dansk were actually pretty damn good. Of course they were. Why wouldn't they have been? We didn't end up with Jack Eye. He wasn't available in the expansion draft, unfortunately. But he might eventually find his way to this team. He might eventually. I actually think he will. Let's take a look around the league really quickly, and then we'll double-check fights. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, LOL. Again, we're on medium scoring settings. Those being the top point getters in the league. Goal scoring-wise, it was McDavid with 59. Andrei Svechnikov was up there, too. Defensively, 75 points for Dougie, 70 for Drew Doughty. Top goal scorer was 17. You had Carlson and Doughty. Good luck with that for Drew Doughty. Winningest goaltender, Tristan Jarry. Well, let's be honest, he played 10 more games than Vasilevsky, so not quite. Shutout leader was Jarry with 8. Sorokin was one behind him. Top save percentage, Martin Jones in 6 games. Alex Nedeljkovic. And he had Vasi up there, too. Goaltenders are still very weird. Shane Wright's going to win the Calder. LOL. Coachella Valley Firebird legend Shane Wright is going to win the Calder. Shout out to Boko Amama, who was up there in the top 10 in scoring. Just as good as Shane Pinto. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. So with that, let's check out these point totals or these fight totals, shall we? I'm pretty sure I still have to check. No, I don't. Good. Well, we top 30. Holy shit. We top 30. Turns out we set that to be a little bit too low. Shout out to the 68% of the points that went to the over, because that was correct. Holy shit. Look at this. How many fights was that? Let's break out yield calculator here really quickly. VL and Witkowski were at 2 each. 88 fights. 88. We set the over-under at 29.5. There were 88. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, next year will Reeves have 30. Beautiful, beautiful violence from the Trinidad and Tobago Goonfish. They'll be back next year. For now, we focus on the Stanley Cup playoffs for this year. You got Nashville, St. Louis, Colorado, Anaheim, Seattle, Calgary, Edmonton, and LA. In the East, it is Carolina, Washington, Pittsburgh, Florida, Toronto, Detroit, Tampa, and Boston. So we'll see who ends up winning the Stanley Cup. And then we'll get to, actually, you know what? Let's, for the first time now, actually, let's wait. Let's wait until the Stanley Cup's awarded to look at the draft class for the first time. Because we do have the number one odds for the number one pick, which we do need if there is a great power forward or DFD available. Give me a top 5 enforcer or grinder, though. You know you want to. The Boston Bruins. Where's the lie? Where is the lie? The Boston Bruins are going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Okay, spam B, spam B. Spam B, spam it. Okay, good. Whew. All right. The Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup. They beat Tampa in 7, Toronto in 6, Washington in 7, and Edmonton in 6. They got revenge for Ray Bourque. The Boston Bruins Stanley Cup champions. In the AHL, by the way, our AHL team did not make the playoffs, as absurd as that is. The Charlotte Checkers swept the Milwaukee Admirals. Nope, they did make the playoffs, actually. They lost to the Marlies in 7. Didn't even notice. Xavier Ouellet was our leading scorer. Yeah, the Charlotte Checkers end up winning the Calder Cup. And for the hell of it, Draisaitl and McDavid led scoring. But it was this squad here. David Krejci comes back and the Bruins win the cup. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Let me tell you. It might actually. It might actually. Linus Ullmark keeps playing like he has. Holy shit, it might actually happen. Terms of the awards. AHL fights, I can check those in a second. Let's see. Connor McDavid wins his 3rd straight Art Ross trophy. He wins his 2nd Hart trophy. Dougie Hamilton wins the Norris. David Lady Bing. The Calder does go to Shane Wright. Pasternak wins the Conn Smythe and then signs in fucking Arizona for $12 million a year. You believe they still haven't signed David Pasternak? Dawn. Got time to sign Mitch Miller, but you don't have time to re-sign David Pasternak? Dawn. Anyway, I'll be salty about that until they sign him or until he leaves. Then if he leaves, I'll be salty about it until the end of time. Andrei Vasilevsky wins the Vezina, as well as the Jennings, Trot the Masterton. Wow, on a Goon Squad team, someone was bad enough to out-bad a Goon Squad. Remember, that doesn't happen often. Good for Ben Sherratt. Jack Adams goes to LA's coach. Ryan O'Reilly wins the Selke and the Ted Lindsay to Connor McDavid, as well as the Rocket Richard. AHL Cole Lind put up the most points. He was also league MVP and the top goal scorer. Bobby Brink was the top rookie. Lassie Thompson, top defender. Aaron Dell, best goaltender. And MVP of the playoffs, former Boston Bruin, Calgary Flame, New York Islander, Austin Czarnik. Let's double check our AHL fights really quickly. Let's do that for the regular season. For the Butte Bruisers, not nearly as crazy. Wow. They just don't like to fight in the AHL, apparently. Alex Gallant had 11. You're telling me Pierre-Cedric Labrie, unless it must have reset the roster. Okay. It did certain call-ups and send-downs. It reset it after the playoffs. Good to know. Well, with that, it's time to look at the draft class for the very first time. Because this will put the pressure, potentially, on the lottery. Well, we know Bedard doesn't count, but there is Cody Merritt. We need a top 2 pick. DFD Cody Merritt. We don't know much about him, apparently. Our scouts didn't do much. But he would be the guy. If it's not him, we go way off the board for Gabriel Holt. Oh, boy. And then there was a grinder, Malik Sanchez. I was hoping it was Mark Sanchez so I could call him Butt Fumble for the entire series. Cannot trade down, no. We need a top 2 pick. Come on. And it begins. Philadelphia moves up from 9-2. We have to hope one of them drops the ball. Joe Thornton, Louis Eriksson, and a cast of others elect to retire. Wish we could do 2. Give her a switch chat and NHL. Me too, buddy. That's the dream.
For you.
Josh, thank you for the follow. That is the dream. We lost Thompson, Rowney, and Labrie. Joe Thornton becomes a coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Carter Rowney became a scout. All right. Well, we know who we want. The question is, will one of these 2 teams pass on defenseman Cody Merritt? He is the only defenseman projected in the top 5. Minnesota selects. You took him over Connor Bedard! Why? Oh my God. All right. That's great. Thanks, Minnesota. Well, you just fucking upped and ruined that drama right out of the gates, didn't you? Quick pick in reverse, yoink and ice pack, just like a prototypical defensive defenseman. And the Philadelphia Flyers take Connor Bedard 2nd overall. Right. Well, again, for those just joining, we are limited to grinders, power forward, DFD, and enforcers. It's open season on goaltenders. So we can't take any of these guys. The next highest rated player that we can take is Gabriel Holt. Aside from him, we'd also be looking at Malik Sanchez. And then what about towards the 2nd round? Alex Datsuk. I doubt he's an enforcer, but we could go for it. It's also Victor Holmes. Another potential grinder, Ethan Midema. Midema, I'm guessing it is. He is real. There's no way PJ Forgione. Forgione. That option, Sergei Vishnevsky. Okay. Well, we're pretty much going to be able to get 2 of these guys. Look at the hair on Nico. My goodness. All right. So if we were to take a goalie, it would be Sergei Vishnevsky, who is 19 years old. Is it worth the risk? It's not a guaranteed X factor. Defensively, it's PJ, 4 years out, probably a good chance of being a DFD. And then Alexander Datsuk, 3 years out. And then there's the left wings. There are 2 centers. We don't know enough about Nico. We don't really know enough about Ethan. So Victor Holmes, unconfirmed 3 years out, but we know he's only a medium top 9. There's Malik Sanchez, 4 years out. And then there's Gabriel Holt. Holt's the guy. Holt is the guy. 3rd overall, we have to take the 19th ranked skater. Call me Don Sweeney, because we're going way off the board. Gabriel Holt's our pick. 66 medium top 6. He does have a good shot. It's the best thing that he's got. His physicality is honestly not even that good. He's got a decent starting shot. It's a long way up for Gabriel Holt. Disaster strikes for both ourselves and self-inflicted disaster for Minnesota. That is something. My goodness. Yeah, just to show you where everyone else ends up. Again, these are not my rosters. It's the most recent EA roster update. Otherwise, a lot of these prospects would be better. Make them more usable. So Sanchez goes to Chicago, 61 medium top 6 grinder. Would have loved to have ended up with him, but didn't happen. So, based off of who's left, Datsuk would make the most sense. We can't guarantee he's an enforcer, but we can pretty much guarantee he's a DFD. I would say it's a risk on Sergei Vishnevsky or it's Alexander Datsuk. We did take a goalie in the secondary draft. Shout out to AJ, who's, wow, AJ, up to an 80. Sweet, make him more usable for other teams. That goalie's a 71 at 20 years old with 3 silvers. And defensively, we took Carlson last year. He only went up by like a point. It's very concerning. With the way goaltending works in this game, we're taking a defenseman. Alexander Datsuk. Please be a DFD. Thank God. Oh, God. Low 4. Ugh. Well, you're never going to be anything, are you? That is unfortunate. Holmes is a 64 medium 9. Caden Price. Medema, 62 medium 9 power forward. Medema, whatever it might be. Shout out to Rotzloff. Great name. DFD Forgione. I mean, and then Vishnevsky, 58 medium starter. Tough call, honestly. Good for Pittsburgh getting a 71. Tough call on whether or not we could have done significantly better there or not. Let's sort by potential because that's kind of... Oh, my God. We can't even take him. He's probably not even that good, but we can't even take him. There's Esseberg. There's a lot of goalies in the running here, apparently. And then some other guys that it's wishful thinking. There's a low elite Romanian playmaker. Terrible. Jackson Parsons in goal. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. I gotta call a timeout here again. We got too much to sort through. We didn't even get that top option that we wanted. So in goal, I am going to rule out Parsons just because he's real. So there's Dmitry Kvasha. 3 out of 4 for 4 different abilities for this goalie. He's got to be good with that gem, right? There's Esseberg. 5 years out. Juha Janila. Kvasha's looking pretty promising. Literally no other defenseman. And then for the forwards, there's not even that many either. There's Alexei Zaitsev. 5 years out. Liam Persson. 5 years out. Might have no contest. There you go, Ripley. That's the way to do it. Pushkarev. There's Nico still. And then there's Sergei Kondratiev. 3 out of 4 an unstoppable force. Gonna go with my gut on this one. It looks like Dmitry Kvasha, the goaltender, is our best option. He's a big boy, too. Kvasha's the pick. No abilities, but he is a 59 overall medium elite. So our first Medium elite goaltender. Between the two that we have already, they should be good enough. Look at the hair on Mason Finley. That Western Canadian flow. Is the only players that we have left. I'm going to go for... I'm going to rule out Janilla. I'm going to go for Liam Persson just to hope that somehow, someway, a 3 out of 4 no contest comes to fruition. Low bottom 6. Low bottom 6. Not great. I was hoping for a really solid first draft for this team. It's not happening. Let's take Sergei Kondratiev next. Medium bottom 6 power forward. Ah, yes. The joys of this challenge. It's all coming back to me now. We got Pushkarev and Zaitsev. We might as well try. I mean, we can double check as to whether or not there are any actual enforcers. Can double check that really quickly just to see if our scouts found anybody. And no confirmed enforcers there. I mean, I do genuinely wonder if Philly would have taken that defenseman second overall. They probably would have. Wasn't Frasca? I know for a fact you were drafted. Right? Sharks? No, he wasn't drafted. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, or maybe he was projected to be drafted and wasn't. Ah, I'm thinking of Jordan Frasca, who signed with the Penguins. I was wrong. Enforcers. Enforcers. Do we have any enforcers? Achilles, they are not in the game by default. EA doesn't have the rights to use them in the game. I mean, grinder-wise, there is a guaranteed grinder, Artem Koroluk. We might actually have to look at that guy. Oh, wait, that guy has Crease Crasher. Yeah. And Koroluk wouldn't have a high ceiling, but we know he's a grinder. Let's take Artem Koroluk. Medium bottom 6, 49 rated. And we'll go for Alexei Zaitsev. We're very good at taking medium bottom 6 forwards, is what I've discovered. So, a pretty disappointing draft for us there. However, it wasn't nearly as bad as what Minnesota did. Not nearly as bad. Muted, what's happening, buddy? Was hoping for a little bit better, though. Damn.